today with you. I did my Miracle Morning homework already. Not Miracle Morning. Miracle Challenge. Dream Life Challenge. I don't know. Whatever it is that I'm working on where I got that cool slogan, everything is perfect, everything is improving. And honestly, I started it last week and got to like day 5 and felt like I was missing something. So I went back and started all over. So I'm back on day 4. And I'm starting to feel a little bit of the shift I was looking for. I was feeling a little stuck and a little frustrated with a lot of things, and I feel like my energy's starting to shift, and I can be my positive self that I need to be. And guys, you know what? It's not as much as I preach all the things to do and how to get positive. Sometimes it's harder than others. I think my advice would be just don't give up. Like, do the things that you know will work, and they'll work in the amount of time they're supposed to work. Like, I needed to have my pissy pants on for a while. I needed to, like, move through my frustration and feel my feelings with all the stuff that went down. And now I'm coming out on the other side like, okay, I'm fresh. I could do this. And it's the same thing when we encounter things in life, normal anything, right? Family, work. We're going to all have stress at different times. It's how we handle it that is key. For me, I now understand all the principles, right? I understand that everything is happening for a reason, essentially. And I can even have that in my logical brain when I'm going through stuff. It doesn't always line up with my emotions, though. It definitely takes practice. And one of the points that James reminded us of, and you know that I know this because I tell you all the time, but it was a good reminder this morning. Like, if we want to shift our attitude as I call it, into gratitude, we need to literally practice gratitude every day, whether that's writing a list or I find myself talking in the car to the universe or source love, as he calls it. As you can tell, when I'm immersed in a class or a person or a concept, I like to share it with you, and that's kind of what's happening. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, I find myself in the car being like, hey, universe, thank you for the pretty trees. Thank you for the car that I'm driving. Thank you for, whatever is on my mind. And I find there's this messaging, whether it's at church or through this or through, even there was a GA reading from the One Day at a Time book today. A lot of people do their praying to want something. It could be healing. It could be, I know this is going to sound horrible, but my only time of saying the G word was when I was gambling. Dear bingo gods, dear slot machine gods, dear poker gods. Like, I would literally say that crap when I was gambling. It was all about what I wanted. And instead, it should have been, well, not gambling, but it really should be gratitude. Like, thank you for the air I breathe. Thank you for technology to let me talk to millions of people around the world. Like, thank you for those things and really appreciating what we have. And this is, it's a work in progress. And the more, I definitely think that gratitude is a foundation for me. I'm just saying that I can't always be perfectly positive as much as I would like to be, but gratitude helps shake me out of it. So that's my thoughts on that this morning. So let's jump into our reading. Richard Wilbur says, this plant would like to grow and yet escape. One irony of growing up and becoming mature is it's not quite as easy as we thought it would be. Once we get to the point of making decisions for our lives, we often wish we were kids again when our parents took care of all the difficult decisions. Growing up means accepting responsibility for our behavior and attitudes, making decisions, and living with consequences, and solving day-to-day problems. It would really be nice to have a mom or a dad or someone else take care of all of it for us. Fortunately, there is middle ground between being completely on our own and having someone take care of us all the time. The middle ground is to be interdependent, at times taking care of day-to-day problems on our own, but at other times when the problem or decision is greater, asking other people or our higher power for help. Being adult does not have to mean being alone. Asking for help is often a very mature action and will usually enrich our lives with friendship and camaraderie and contact with our higher power. Today, I pray I may never be afraid to ask for help, and may I never view asking for help as a sign of weakness. What first came to me is, I can't even remember what environment we use it in, and I say it all the time, like sometimes just adulting can be a challenge, and that's what popped into my head. Someone reminded me the other day, I can't remember the context, but they were struggling with something too, and they're like, yeah, you call it adulting, and some days I don't want to adult. And what's beautiful about this is the premise, or a big part of the premise of what I want 321, the real business to be. The brick and mortar business down the road is a place where people can go and play and not have to be adults. Or they could be adults playing like kids. Whatever. That's a big, big pillar of my vision. And I think it helps. I mean, it definitely helps people dealing with recovery and addiction and all those things. But I think it'll help normal people too to just escape and release some stress so that they don't end up addicts, essentially. The reading talks about this middle ground, being completely on our own and having someone take care of us all the time. I like this word interdependent. At times taking care of day-to-day problems on our own, but then at other times asking for help. This is important. I think that this really is the difference between being successful in our personal growth and development and not. If we don't start being, self-aware, humble, proactive, accountable, all those things that by sharing with other people, and it could be in the context of asking for help, sometimes just talking about things and the other person listening is a way of asking for help. But if we're not doing that, we're carrying everything by ourselves, and it kind of hunkers us down. And sometimes it could be, it's not all just I don't like that I always use the word negative, but it's the only way to really capture what I mean in our buckets, right? So hanging on to the stress and the negative and the things that weigh us down, just by sharing them can get them out of our bucket, right? And we have to be mindful that asking for help is not weakness. It's just not. Like, I ask you guys for help every time that I ask you to like the podcast or subscribe or leave a rating or review. That's me asking for help. I can't do that on my own. I need some help. And that's a very generic example, but it's true. And whether we're in a recovery environment, I told you I'm in that alcohol-free group, Recovery Elevator. So when I'm in there, people ask for help all the time. I'm one of the people that has volunteered to help lead meetings. And if someone has a gap or can't lead, like when I screwed up last week and knew I was leading but messed up the time and all that good stuff, someone jumped in and helped. I didn't have to ask. They just did it. And that happens after we surround ourselves with those kind of people. It goes back to gratitude then, right? Like, be grateful for the people that we have as resources. And if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have any people. No one will help me. I don't deserve help. If you're thinking any of those things, you're just freaking wrong. Okay. I don't tell you you're wrong all the time, but you're wrong if you're thinking those things. So let's say that you are a gambler who wants to quit. You're not alone. There's oh God, millions of us. I don't know what the exact number is, but there's lots of us that want to quit gambling. And you have the resources, whether it's Gamblers Anonymous or Dharma Recovery or a Facebook group. There's a lot of things and places and resources that you can get help. We've all been there. So it's very easy to connect on that level. Now, if you need help at work or personally, so work, it might be needing someone from another department or needing help from your boss or needing help figuring something out. It's okay to go ask your neighbor in a cubicle. I remember us, we all had to use Excel and all the things, right? But different functions or different little tricks, we all knew different depending on how we learn. And in our environment, we'd be like, hey, I'm stuck. Can you help me with this? Doesn't mean I'm weak or not smart. It just means I don't know what I don't know. And it's okay. It's okay that I don't know everything about Excel. Nobody did, which is why, it was collaboration. And that's another beautiful thing. We've talked about this too in the spirit of giving. If we ask for help, chances are we're also going to give help. And actually, I'm kind of misspeaking because people are popping in my head that give help all the time, but don't ever ask for help. And they're just givers, and they don't take care of themselves. So if you're in that bucket, I want you to focus on taking care of yourself and asking for help if you need it. If you're someone who is accepting help, I want you to think about, I think you'll automatically do this, right? Like you'll give help away and you'll try to pay back. Maybe not that person that's helping you in that moment, but you'd want to share that experience. Like so Paul, I'll go back to Recovery Elevator. When I first launched the show, he was my first interview and he helped me get going and he helped me. I needed help and wisdom. And now when people ask me about starting a podcast or need a little insight, I try to help them the best I can so that they can be successful and so that they can make a difference. There's a lot of audiences that need to hear a lot of different things. So it's best that we support each other and just help each other. So that's part of it too. It's just really, I think out of everything on here, I think understanding that asking for help is not weakness is one of the most crucial points. How many people, and maybe you've been blessed enough to not know someone who has ended up either stealing or getting in really big trouble because of their gambling, or someone who's committed suicide over the feelings that come with being in over our head, both financially and mentally. What if those people asked for help? Right? Like, wouldn't you want to help them? Wouldn't you want to not have, jail or death be the end result of someone who needed help? So think about it in that way. You literally could be saving a life or someone could literally be saving yours. And I will tell you that nobody that I know of in our world, I don't know about, like the movie world with Hitman and all that stuff, but I don't think anybody wants anything deliberately bad for another person. So know that there's people out there that are feeling that way about you. So if you need to ask for help, ask for help. It's okay. And it's a good way to learn. And I think the reading said it's a good way to build friendship and community. And as you may have heard, the opposite of addiction is connection. That's definitely a theme. So by asking for help, you may get a bonus connection out of it, which is another beautiful thing. Give that some thought today, guys. Friends, guys, I don't know what I want to call you. Beautiful people. That's what I like to call you. That's I hope that gives you what I want it to give you, is that we're all beautiful people. We're all like fighting the fight. We're all amazing inside and out. We're all worth it. Just to revisit the beautiful people part. So you are beautiful people. I'm a beautiful people. And I'm going to go start my day. But thank you for being here with me this morning as I download and check in with you. I know I tell you all the time, but I really, really mean it. I am so freaking grateful for you. And I'm grateful for having this as a way for me to get through life and for me to deal with the bumps and the curves and the successes and all the things that life gives us, all this adulting stuff, right? So thank you very much, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.